Good morning, everyone. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. Let's begin today's lesson. And just like always, I give you the reference. It's World History, Unit 3, An Age of Exchange and Encounter. And it's Chapter 12, Empires in East Asia. And you will find this topic on page 323. Okay, so in the last lesson, you read about the Ottoman Empire. And in this lesson, you will learn about the changes in China during the Tang and Song dynasties. Here you see Tang and Song dynasties. In this lesson, we will cover the Tang dynasty expands China, the Song dynasty restores China, an era of the prosperity and innovation, changes in Chinese society. So these are the topics we will cover in this lesson. So the first topic is the Tang Dynasty expands China. So we have to look back into the history that starting in AD 220, China went through a long period of troubles. And there were no strong rulers. China was not united, and then in 589, a man named Wendi. Okay, here I show you the name, Wendi. So a man named Wendi brought order, and he united the northern and southern regions. He also named himself the first emperor of Sui dynasty. So the first dynasty was Sui dynasty, and Wendi was the first emperor. And Sui dynasty built a strong foundation for the next dynasty, which was the Tang dynasty. Here you see Tang dynasty. Sui built a strong nation for this Tang dynasty. You can say like that after Sui dynasty came the Tang dynasty. And this dynasty lasted for 300 years. Tang Taizong, here I show you, Tang Taizong, he was a mighty emperor, and he and other Tang rulers made the empire larger. They gained back lands lost since the fall of the Han dynasty, and now we have this ruler Wu Chao. It begins with a Z, but I checked its pronunciation. It is called Wu. I lost my cursor here. Okay, so Wu Chao. You will say it's Wu Chao since it is Chinese name, so don't get confused. And don't get confused and don't get panic as well, because whenever we listen the name of China, all of us just think about coronavirus. So don't be panicked. We are just going to read about the old dynasties. Come back, okay? So what we were talking about Wu Chao. Wu Chao was another great Tang leader. Actually, she was not a male; she was a woman. So she was the only woman ever to rule China as emperor. And during her time, parts of Korea were added to the dynasty. Now we will see how this dynasty came to end. By the mid-70s, the Tang dynasty had begun to weaken, just like always we read. And then invaders attacked the empire's land, and Chinese rebels, and they became violent. So finally, in 907, they killed the last Tang ruler. Next, we are going to talk about the Song dynasty restores China. So in this topic, we will cover like what happened during the Song dynasty. The Song dynasty replaced the Tang dynasty. The Song dynasty also lasted about 300 years. Its empire was smaller than the Tang, but China was still strong under Song ruler. This dynasty did have military troubles, though. Song ruler wanted peace with their enemies in the north. Every year they gave gifts of silver, silk, and tea. That's very popular. These things are very popular of China. So silver, silk, and tea. This was not enough, and warriors forced the Song to move to the south. Next, we have an era of prosperity and innovation, and in this we will see what advances occurred during the Tang and Song periods. So during the Tang and Song rule, the Chinese made many advances. They invented useful things. Movable type made printing faster. Gunpowder was another important invention. It led to the design of exploding weapons. The Chinese made progress in farming too, and the trade increased under the Tang and Song emperors. Goods were carried over land along the Silk Roads. So this were the few advances during Tang and Song periods. Then we have changes in Chinese society. So how did China change under the Tang and Song? Chinese societies changed during the Tang and Song periods. The old noble families lost power. Key officials in government gained power. They formed a new upper class, and this wealthy class was called a gentry. Next came the middle class. They lived in the cities. People such as store owners and traders belonged to this group. Below them were workers, soldiers, and servants. In country areas, farmers made up the largest class. The position of women became worse during this time, and women were seen as less important than men. Their work was not seen as valuable. So this is how you will see the changes in the Chinese society. Okay, so last thing that is very important, and that is activity for today. So what you have to do, you have to read the whole lesson through your book and try to make up your small points or notes on a notebook, and then try to give the answers, like a few questions I am just giving you. So try to get the answers from your book. Like for example, what changes occurred during the Tang Dynasty? How did Tang rulers change China? How did the Song emperors try to obtain peace? Name 3 advances made under Tang and Song ruler. So this type of question, but as you know, any type of question can come in your semester, so you better prepare the whole topic. I have just given you few questions for today. So I hope you have enjoyed the lesson, and have a good day. See you again.